guys, in today's video I'm going to put together a meal planner, but you can use this planner for anything that you require, whether it be an exercise routine or just anything specifically that you need. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our canvas size. So if you come over to the layout section, you're going to put your page width as 1600 points. You're going to have your page height as 2000 points. And if you want to print this with great quality, then change your DPI to 300. Okay, and once you've done that, we're just going to create it. Okay, so here's our blank canvas, and the first thing we need to do is draw out our little boxes which will contain our meal information throughout the month. So we're just going to grab a square and we'll just drag that out. And once you've dragged out your square, I just want you to come over here to the transform menu in the bottom right hand corner. If you're not seeing this menu, then just head up to your toolbar at the top, select view, go down to studio and just ensure that you've got transform checked over there. Okay, so once we've done that and we're back over here in the transform tool, I want you to change your width and your height both to 200. So we do 200 on the width and 200 on the height and hit that enter key. Okay, so the next thing I want to do after that is I want to remove the fill so we can see straight through that and make the stroke a bit bigger. So we're going to come over to the color menu, we're going to select that white and we're just going to select that little white one there with the red line through it so we can see straight through that now. And we'll just select that and I think we'll leave that black on the stroke, but we're going to come over here to the stroke menu and we're going to make that a little bit bigger. So instead of the 1 point, I think we'll have 3. That is fine. And once we've got that, we can just move this anywhere you want for the moment. So we just put it there. So what I want inside this box is just a couple of lines where we can write in our daily meals. So in order to do that, we're just going to grab the pen tool and we're just going to drag out a line from here to here. So if you make your first point and if you hold down shift, it gives you that straight line there. So it keeps it perfect, and just insert your second point there. And once we've done this, I want to change this from a straight line to dashes. So to do that, we're going to come over to the stroke menu and we're going to change it from the style here to the dashes, just like that, and that should be fine. You can adjust this if you want to make it bigger or smaller, but I think that'll be fine for this. So just come off that for a moment, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring this up here to match this top, let that snap into place to make sure it's centered, and we're going to make a copy of this and duplicate it. So I want you to hit Command C for copy, and I want you to hit Command J to duplicate. So once we've duplicated it, I want you to come back down here to the transform menu and pay attention to the Y axis right here. So whatever number you've got in here, just leave it alone. All I want you to do is come to the end of it, at the end of that point section there, that PT, and I want you to type in plus 66.5, just like that, and hit enter. And then that'll put that where we need it. And then from here, just hit Command J once again, and then that'll move that automatically to what we just did. So that'll be completely centered there now, hopefully. It'll be perfect all the way across these. So that's generally all we need inside of this box. So if we come off that, and we can just come over here, hold down Command, and select all of these, and you can just group these into one. So hit that Command G for group. And we're going to kind of do the same thing that we just did now with duplicating this. So we're just going to copy this whole group right here that we've already just created. So hit Command C and Command J for duplicate. And back down here again to the transform tool. This time we're on the X axis. So exactly the same as what we just did. Come to the end of the points. And this time we're going to hit plus 200. And hit that enter key. There we go, and then I'll just want you to hit Command J another 4 times. So Command J, 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 just like that. Actually another time, because it's 7 days of the week. So now we've got 7 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And once we've done that, we can just group all this together as well. So hit that Command G. And we're going to do the same thing now with duplicating it, but now we're going to go down instead of across. So we're going to hit that Command C to copy, Command J to paste it. And I'm going to come down now to the Y axis, do exactly what we did up here with the plus 200, but this time on the Y. So plus 200 and hit that enter. and then we Command J again and again, and we need 6 of these, just like that. Now once we've done that, we can group all this together to make it one. So Command G, and then we can move this to wherever it is you want to put it. Okay, so that is the basic starting point that we need, and what I'm going to do now is we're just going to make it look a lot better. We're going to bring in some images to make it kind of look more like a professional planner. So there's websites built into Affinity. I'm not sure whether you guys know about this or not, but there's various sites that offer you stock images which are free to use, and all you have to do is just give credit to any of the authors whose images you use. You can do this by putting it in the description of your video or anywhere that you're posting it, just put in their name for credit for the image, and you're free to use that however you like. So in order to grab an image, we're going to come over here to this stock menu right there. And we've got Unsplash, which is one site. We've got Pixels and we've got Pixabay. Me personally, Pixels is my favourite one, so that's the one I'm going to use. If you're not seeing this stock menu right here, it's the same as before. Go up to your view, down to your studio, and just ensure that you have got stock checked over there. Okay, so once we're in this stock menu, we just got to search for the kind of image that we want. So I'm going with a healthy meal planner. So if we type for healthy and see what comes up. Okay, now we've got all these images which have shown up. So I'm just going to grab this one here just to quickly demonstrate how easy this is. All we've got to do is drag it in, and we just got to reposition this. So I'm going to make this a lot bigger just to fill up this space. So that'll be fine, and just going to have to move it to where you want it. So I think for me, I'm just going to maybe have it there. That'll be fine. Come back over to your layers, and we're just going to move that underneath that one. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to put an image inside of this box here. So we'll grab our rectangle tool again, and we're just going to draw this to be the same size as this one here. Just make sure it snaps, just like that. And then we're going to give this a fill color of white, and we're not going to have a stroke, so just make sure you've got that turned off. And once we've done that, we just ensure that it is dropped below the boxes instead of on top of it. I'm just going to rename that box so I remember what it is. And now what we're going to do with this square is we're going to use it as a mask for our images that we're going to put in there. So if we head back over to stock once again, and we find another image that we want to use, I will use that one there for this demonstration. I'm just going to drag it over and just going to resize it to get the rough size that I need. Okay, as you can see, it's sticking out all over the place at the moment, and we need it inside of the box. So in order to fix that, we're going to go back to layers, and we're going to grab the image, and we're going to drag it down below this white box. And as you see this big blue line here, I just want you to move slightly over to the right till it embeds it inside of that box. That's it, just like that, and let it go. And now we're free to come over to the move tool, and we can just move that wherever into place where we want to put it. So I'll leave it there for now. Okay, and once we've got that, I'm just going to drop the opacity on this one so it blends in a little bit better and it won't distract from what's written inside of the boxes. So ensure you are on your image. Let's go up to opacity, and I'm going to change that to around 25, I think. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to create our month. So we're just going to grab that text tool, and we'll just type any month that you want to do. I think I'll just do July, even though we are currently in March. And I'm just going to position this roughly where I want it, so in the center, and maybe just up a little bit more. I think I'm going to change that font because I'm not entirely happy with it. So I think I'm going to go for something like that, I think, just to kind of make it look a bit more calendar-like. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little custom title over here. Just going to drag that box in. I can try and line that up there with that U. It's about there, and just going to give that a colour. Something like that is fine. And what I want to do now is I want to convert this to curves so we can move certain sections of this to make the shape a little bit different. So I've come over here to convert curves, tap on that one, come over to your left hand side, grab that node tool, and then we can just start to move this over to where we want to bring it. So I'm going to put you there, and I'm going to move this bottom section out a little bit. So something like that I think will be fine. And I want to put a drop shadow on this next. So we're going to come down to effects. We're going to outer shadow, and I think radius and offset will have 20 on both of those. Hit enter and see how that looks. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to put some custom text up here. So we'll come down to the text tool and just drag this out, and we'd probably have your name here usually, so you'd write your name in there with Healthy Planner underneath it, for instance. So for the sake of the video, I'm just going to write your name and hit the enter key, and we'll call it Healthy Planner. And I'm going to change that font because I don't like it, and we'll stick to what we had on the date, the month over there, sorry, which I think was that one. And I'm quite happy with the size of it. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Quite happy with the size of it at the moment, so I'll leave it for now, but I'll probably come back and adjust that later if I needed to. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is add in our days of the week just above the boxes. So we're going to come down here to the artistic text tool, but then we're going to change that to the frame text tool. Just drag out a little box quickly, and we're going to come down here to the transform menu again, and we've got that perfect look. I wanted the width for 200, and the height doesn't matter, we'll adjust that in a moment, but the width was important at 200, so if you haven't got that, just make sure you type that 200, and we're just going to position this to where we want it roughly. So about there for the moment will do. We're just going to tap in here and we'll write Monday. And we're going to center this text. We're going to make that bigger, around 30. And change that font to what we've had originally. And we can just adjust the size of this box now to whatever you want to put it as. And I'm going to move this down slightly, so the best way of doing this without moving out of place is to use your arrow keys and your shift button. So it'll move it to where you want it. So I think that's fine. So all we've got to do now is duplicate this all across the 7 boxes and change the dates on there. So we're going to hit Command C and Command J. And exactly what we did with these boxes, we just got to come over here and hit that plus 200. Hit that enter button and Command J across the rest of them. So that should be lined up lovely. Okay, so we've got to come in now and just change the Monday to the Tuesday. And the Wednesday. Okay, so that's that section complete. Okay, so feel free to change the size of your days if you want to make them bigger or smaller, it's up to you. So what I want to do next is indicate what these boxes are for. So to do that, I'm going to grab a rectangle tool over here, and I'm just going to zoom in for a moment. I'm just going to draw out a little box, make it roughly the same size. It's kind of guesswork, but if you guys want to work this out to be perfect, then feel free. I just want to be a bit quicker with the video. I'm just going to put that there, and it's going to Command C for copy and Command V for paste. I'm just going to paste that twice. Just going to drop that one underneath it for a moment and bring that one down. Just going to select all of these, and we're going to come over here to the alignment, and we're just going to change this vertically to match the spacing in between these. So just going to drag that to where you think it looks good. So we'll leave it like that for the moment. So next thing is I want to change the colour of these ones. So I think for this one we're going to have like a purple perhaps. And this one will have kind of like a mint green. So something like that will be fine. And then I'm going to group this one, Command G. And just going to zoom back out for a moment. So what I want to do next is I want to duplicate this all the way down. So if we hit that Command C and Command J, We just got to bring this one down to roughly where we think it should sit. So I think maybe around there will be fine. It's definitely not perfect, but it doesn't matter, just for the demonstration. So all we're going to do now is hit that Command J all the way down the bottom, and then we can just leave it there. Okay, now we just got to indicate what these boxes are for. So it's going to grab that rectangle tool again and just drag this out anywhere for the moment. And we're going to go down to this artistic text again and change it to text frame, or the frame text. And we're just going to write inside of this box. So we're going to put breakfast. And we're going to center that. Change that font to match the rest of it. And make that font bigger. And then we're just going to move that into place. And try and center that the best you can. Okay, so that'll be fine for that one. So all we're going to do now is we're going to make a copy of these. And just paste that and snap that onto that one. And paste again. And snap that one onto that one. And then we're just going to come in there and we're going to change this one to lunch. In fact, I think I'm going to keep the rest of this lowercase. So we've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so we're just going to change the colour of these boxes now to match the ones that we've already got. So we're just going to grab that. This does this every time, and I don't know why, because I've already given it permission to read the screen. I don't know why it keeps doing it. It's a bit of a pain in the backside. And we've got that colour now, and the lunch one is going to be that purple. And then that green we're going to keep the same over there. And what I want to do next is I'm going to round these edges on here. So if we come over and grab the corner tool, I'm just going to pull this one all the way in. I'm going to pull this one all the way in. And we're going to do the same over here. Grab that one all the way in and that one all the way in. And then we're just going to grab all of this and we're going to group it by holding down Shift and Command G. And then we can move this into place where we want to put it. So make sure that's in the center. And now that shows us exactly what they are for. And what we can do also is add a outer shadow on that to make it look a little bit better as well. So we get that 20 again and 20 again. And that's looking pretty good. So what we could do again is just create another box. Something like that, and we're just going to change the colour of that to be white. And we'll have a stroke, a black stroke, and at the moment we've got the lines on like we had before, so I'm going to change that just back to the standard solid line. And just going to put that into the centre. In fact, looking at it, I think I want to move some of this stuff up. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lock this background layer so it doesn't move. So if we come down to the background and we just hit that lock button, it means no matter what we move around, it's not going to affect it. So I'm just going to grab all of this quickly. And I'm just going to move it up to position it to roughly where I want to put it. Just to give us a bit more room down the bottom. I'm just going to bring this one back down. Just going to write in here. Additional. Okay, we've got additional monthly snacks inside of there. I'm going to center that. I'm going to change that font. I'm going to make that bigger. And I'm just going to center that in the middle of the page. bring that down there. Maybe just move it up slightly. Let's grab both of those and just move them up just a little bit. There we go. And then inside here, I want to put in a couple more lines. So I'm just going to zoom in again. And grab that pen tool. And hold down Shift to keep that perfect straight line. And just change this again back to the dashes. And if we come off that now, you can see it's slightly cut off the end there. So all we've got to do in that sense of things is just come back in and just pull it in so that bit's missing now, and zoom back out. And we're just going to grab that line and make sure it's centered, and just roughly move this to where you want it. Just got to copy and paste that, and we just put that maybe there and just move you up slightly. You can work this out with your measurements as well to get it perfect, but I want to be a bit quicker at this point because we're nearly done. So that's that menu there, and we can generally do the same as what we did before with having a separate image in this one here. So once again, we're just going to grab a box and just try and drag that out to be the same size, and just let that snap. I'm going to put that behind there. We'll turn off our stroke, and we're going to use that again as a mask. So come back over to your stock, and we're just going to find something else that we can just put in there quickly. And that one there will probably do. So just going to drag this over. And let's go back to the layers and drag that one now inside of that one like we did before. Okay, the reason we can't see it is because when we created this box here, we left it white, and we should have actually put the fill as invisible. So if we come back on here quickly and we just change that now to that one, we can see the image underneath it. So it's going to come in and adjust this to where we want to put it. If I'm going to make that bigger personally and maybe focus just on 2 of these dishes there. So I think that'll do, that'll be fine. And we'll just adjust the opacity on this one again to 25 like we did before, just to blend it in. And see how that looks. That looks pretty good. So that is pretty much all there. I think one last thing to finish it off is just to add down our weight at the end of the month. So you can always go back and check the previous months and the months after to see how you fluctuated, whether you've gone up or down. So we're just going to grab our text tool, and we'll just type in end of the month weight. And we'll center that and change that font, make it bigger. And we're just going to put that center. And then all we've got to do now is just put another one of these lines underneath it so you can type it in. So we grab our line, our pen tool, sorry, and put one there and bring one over there. And our stroke's on 3 like it was before. We're just going to make sure it's black. And that there should be perfectly fine. So now just make sure it's completely centered. And just bring that down perhaps just a little bit. Okay, so the reason for all of these boxes, which is unnecessary at the moment, is because some months have more days than others. And for instance, the 1st of July perhaps could start on a Thursday this year. So this will be the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. And if that is the case and you want to create one of these for every month, then all you got to do is just start removing some of these boxes that you don't need. So all we've got to do is come into our groups, and there's our top group. So if we just find the first one from there, which I'm guessing is that one. So we could delete that one, and we'll delete that one, and we'll say that the 1st of the month starts on a Thursday, and we can just remove them from the bottom as well if you want to do that. So we'll find that group, and we'll just remove that end box, and we'll remove that one as well for a demonstration. So all you got to do now is just maybe put in your little dates in the corner if you want to do that. You don't have to necessarily. But as you can see, we've got the problem now with this image in the background, which should be inside of the boxes, and it doesn't look very professional at this point. So to fix that, all we've got to do is just create another mask, and we'll do that using the pen tool. So I'm just going to grab the pen tool from over here. Just going to close that box section for the moment and just draw around it. Just let it snap across all of these blocks and just follow all the way around. And then we're going to colour this white like we did before. We'll take away the stroke and we'll give that colour of white. And then we're just going to bring this down to where our image is. And we're going to now take the image that was inside of it. We've just got to find that one first, which was down there. So let's drag that down there for the moment. We'll just take this image that was inside of the box originally, and we're just going to put it inside of that one now instead. And then we can just remove that one altogether. And as you can see, it's now sitting inside of the boxes, so it looks a lot more professional. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it useful. And if you want to do one of these for every month and create your own and put it all together, then all you got to do is just come in and change all of these to the individual month. Change your background picture to be a different one for every month. And same across all of this, you change your photos. You can leave that there if you want to, do whatever you want to do with that. And that is it. I think I'm just going to quickly move that line down a little bit to around there. And I'm happy with that. So yeah, if you liked the video, guys, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos coming this year. So enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you in the next video.